Die! I mean, they're going to be vaporized. They're going to be vaporized.
Take them out! I'll decide what to do with them later! No. I'm all right.
Then you see the power of Augustus. Then, suddenly, when Herbie says, now you can turn it on. Now you can turn it on, Brian.
You banish her. Banish her for life. Don't tell me where she's gone. Don't ever mention her name. But let her be all alone until she dies. She's not fit for human company.
George, playing Tiberius, had in many ways the most difficult task. He had the least spectacular part, if you think in terms of what Caligula gets up to.
I was playing at Stratford at the time, and these scripts arrived, and I couldn't believe my eyes. And not unnaturally, I accepted.
George was, I think, in his early 40s at the time, but he had to go from the age of about 24, I can't remember now, to about 80-something in the story.
I was then 42, and I went on a very, very serious diet. No drink, no bread, no potatoes, nothing. And I had a spaniel in those days, and every morning I would get up about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and run around Hyde Park, which is 6 miles, right round the park and back home. Then I'd get on a bicycle and cycle to the North Kensington Baths and swim 12 lengths, and then arrive at rehearsals. But I not only got the weight off, but put the muscle back on, and I was exactly the same weight as I was when I was 24.
I must leave Rome.
You'll stay. You'll have patience, as I have.
Where has your patience got you?
He was destined by his mother's force to become emperor. But he was not emperor material, nor did he want to be.
His mother was determined to make him emperor, and he had to follow the machinations of his mother in order to get him there.
Tiberius actually thinks that if he doesn't become emperor, then the whole of his life will have been wasted.
He's altered his will. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue. That took your breath away, didn't it?
He is a very weak man because he actually desperately wants people to like him. He wants his mother to love him.
I must have been nodding when I gave birth to you.
He wants the respect from Augustus, and he doesn't have it.
I'm sick of it. The gods know I've done my best. He never liked me. Never. 30 years I've run his errands for him. I've fought on his bloody frontiers, collected his taxes. He's never once put his hand on my arm and said, thank you. What would I have done without you? Now he sends me off to Illyricum and he doesn't even plan a farewell dinner. Not even a goodbye. Just get on your horse and ride. Well, damn him! I retired before and I can retire again. Let his precious grandson run his empire for him. I'm sick to death of it.
But he doesn't say, I want out, because you are a wicked old woman. He says he wants out because nobody likes him.
I had terrible trouble, really. I keep my face straight with George Baker all the time, because he did that po face he had all the time, and I had terrible trouble keeping my face straight with him. And lots of scenes.
Mark Antony was twice the man you are. And when he spat on my sister, he learned a lesson that he didn't live long enough to profit from. Do you understand me?
But a wonderful moment I had with George, and I'm telling George off, I don't want you seeing your wife, right at the end of the scene, when I've been bollocking him for about 10 pages, and I'm easing down a bit now. And I said, and he's not, I'm not going to have him killed or anything, And I suddenly said to him, I don't want you seeing your wife. I don't like it. Just a little. And I could feel him contort his old stomach, so he didn't laugh, because I just that little thing to him.
But it's I don't like it. Do you understand? It's not right. Now, you play fair with me, and you'll see. I can be generous, too. Good.
And it's a lovely moment, isn't it? Don't sulk!
You play fair with me, eh? Don't sulk.
He can't stand him sulking all the time. And always on the edge of corpsing, laughing.
You wrote a letter. In my name and yours. Without even using the seal.
You were away. And anyway, you don't let me use the seal.
Who's emperor here? You or I?
I remember the triumph that he felt. At last. But he's nearly in his 70s, you know, and at last he's able to say to Olivia, you're a stinking old, rotten human being and you've ruined my life.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. It's your letter. You stick to it. And if it's read in the House, I'll deny all knowledge of it and excuse you on the grounds of mental incompetence brought on by extreme old age.
I think the whole point of I, Claudius, and I think why it's lasted so well, is because there is a tremendous amount of humour. There's an enormous amount of humour in the Graves book, and Jack Pullman has kept it there. And the triumphant humour in the anger of being able to score off his mother at last is wonderful. So long as you play it with that joy, you know. Christ, have you ever left yourself open for the first time in your life? I can really bang in there. I'm going to love it. Well, I remember enjoying playing it very much indeed. I remember something very, very silly. We had to do a retake because when I did one of the flips, the Marks and Spencer brand showed very, very high on the underpants, but not quite Romanesque. So we had to do that one again.
I'll tell you something, Drusus. Sometimes I so hate myself. I can't bear the thought of me anymore.
I think it was one of the key scenes when Tiberius really begins to know that he can't ever fight his mother and that she is wicked and he loves his brother and he hates what's happened to him. And I think he says to his brother that he's the only person that can lead him through, and who knows that Drusus was the only person who knew his dark nature.
You don't know anything about darkness, do you? Inside darkness. Blackness.
Ah, stop bragging. I can match you black for black.
Not you. Not you. They say the tree of the Claudians produces two kinds of apples, the sweet and the sour. It was never more true than you and me.
And what of our mother? Which is she?
Olivia? They say a snake bit her once and died.
Hey, that's no longer funny.
I've only cared for three people in my life. One was our father.
Yes, he was the noblest of us all.
Yes. The other was Vipsania.
I was sorry about that. Why? Why did you divorce her?
Livia insisted on it. Julia wanted it. Augustus insisted on it.
It's all the same. You were so happy, you might have refused.
Do you think the monarchy will survive Augustus?
No, I don't. Rome will be a republic again, I promise you that.
Then perhaps I did it all for nothing.
Tiberius was very worried that dark nature was now coming through. And Herbie gave us all the space in the world. We did the whole fight and the whole scene in one. And it was... Part of that was the lovely thing about working in a studio, because we did have these long, long scenes. They were almost like theatre.
Caligula is one of the most bizarre, flamboyant and cruel characters in the whole piece. And its realization by John Hurt